Welcome back to Shining Empathy. My name is Joel, and this is your full moon reading for May 10th, 2017. So, we are out of Mercury retrograde. Quite thankful for that myself. It's April and even the beginning of May have been, they've not been gentle energetically. I'm looking forward to things sort of like tapering off from breathing and relaxing a little bit more now. But hope everyone is hanging in there. We're still in sort of that shadow period after retrograde, so don't be surprised if things are still kind of resolving themselves. But it's we're in the clear at this point. So with the full moon, we'd just like to reiterate the idea that full moon is about things coming to a peak, kind of coming to a head energetically. Anything that had been worked on for the last moon cycle, the new intentions, the new beginnings that kind of come to this phase of the cycle of the creation process is now it's being given its kind of last little jolt of energy to kind of get things going. So it's also kind of at the point when things sort of like end and close, right? And then after this, it's more, and we move into more of a reflective period with it. We look on what we've created and where to go from there. So let us go ahead and start the reading. So this is for the full moon. And I'm going to set the intention that this is for everyone who's watching this video. Let them receive messages that will be helpful during this full moon cycle. Alright. Pop these down here. Okay. Pop it down a little further there. Okay. Very interesting layout here. Wow, okay. So the root of this full moon, the root of what's all happening right now in this part of the cycle, is getting back to the little things, appreciating and being grateful for all the little things around us, stopping to smell the roses, quite literally, taking that time to be present with the little things around us. And the reason that we're doing that and that that's been happening is because of financial constraints. It sounds like we don't have the resources to be so frivolous in our activities. We're looking at what's already around us instead of trying to like bring in what's new, what can I add. I want. It's what do I have? What's already here? What's right here in front of me that I can put my time into and pay attention to? What's directly affecting this is adjacent possibilities, and what that essentially is, it's kind of like the idea that you're feeling all this potential. You feel like you could kind of go a million directions at once. Add another card there. And the feeling of this potential is being fueled by this opportunity for spiritual evolution right now, moving through a doorway to new paths, new direction, new opportunities in spiritual development right now. So we're feeling that potential because we are literally kind of being ushered into a new spiritual development phase. And that, at its essence, is what's really fueling what's going on here. Looks like there's been a lot of growth in terms of patience. I think by the looks of this, when I see patience in growth phase, in the growth spot, it tells me that we're not having a problem with it. It means that we've had to deal with just being patient with things. We've had to just wait. Things aren't necessarily happening as fast as we want it, and we've sort of come to peace with that at this point. We're making peace with having to be patient. The scales are being weighed. I look at this card sort of as the justice card in a way. It's blind. she's blindly weighing the scales, right? So it's sort of like karma is just sort of being handled right now. Things will come to you when they're meant to come to you, if they're meant to come to you, sort of thing, right? And I think that's the place that maybe we're getting into if we're able to deal with patience a bit more, if we're able to be more patient, we're able to sit back and go, you know what, if it's meant to come to me, it's meant to come to me. So we're kind of just letting karma and the universe sort of level things out instead of having to always control it. It does sound like there's also, when the word contract comes up there and I see the books, there is also that opportunity for things right now that maybe had been put off, and especially with Mercury retrograde, it wasn't exactly a great time to be signing contracts, to be putting our name to stuff, signing marriage certificates or lease agreements, etc., new work term contracts. It wasn't the time for it, and it sounds like maybe now is the time for that, okay? Because it sounds like the growth phase has happened, we moved forward, and now would be the time to sign those contracts if any of you have been putting something off or if a new opportunity has come up. Cards are giving the green light. Now's the time, okay? Now, in terms of what we are struggling with being able to rejuvenate ourselves. We're not able to get the proper rest we need right now. I feel like that's almost more of an energetic, spiritual unrest. Like there's maybe even you could say emotional. But yeah, we're not necessarily able to tap into that. We're struggling with that right now. And it sounds like that has to do with more of the nurturing aspect. We're not necessarily giving ourselves the things that we really need right now. I feel like we saw this card last week, last moon cycle as well. But yeah, what we need to do is we need to really focus on what nurtures us, okay? The woman holding heart is very representational, I find, of the Divine Mother, who is the nurturer, the caregiver, the one who protects and loves. We need to give that more to ourselves right now so that we can receive more of that rest and rejuvenation that we've been so lacking but so needing, okay? So really think about what nurtures you, what really feeds your soul right now, okay? And just really tap into that. Now, in terms of what opportunities are coming up, there's, funny enough, seeing these two come up side by side like that. But yeah, and actually, so this would be 13 and then 31, so it's actually sort of mirrored here, 3, 1, 1, 3. There's a little bit of a flip side happening here where there's an opportunity for us to actually receive more of the resources that we need and want. When strength comes up, I kind of think of it as we don't necessarily, depending on where it comes up, it's kind of like tapping into that strength that we sometimes maybe don't think that we have, or we try to exert it in ways that aren't necessarily effective or as effective as we'd like. But what the cards are saying right now is that if there was, whatever this opportunity is for door to value, which is essentially more resources pouring into your life, it doesn't have to be money. It often does talk about money just because it's one of the main gateways in our world to open up everything. The Angel of Strength is essentially letting you know that whatever this opportunity is, you have the strength to do it, okay? So if an opportunity came up for more work, you're take another shift or something, and you're just like, oh, I just don't think I can. The cards are saying you can, all right? So if you feel like you really need more money right now, more resources, the cards are letting you know that you have the strength to do what you need to do to achieve that, okay? In our strength position right now is the Temple Path. This tells me that we're maybe actually feeling like we're on our path, like we're actually really tapping into that. I'm doing what I need to do for myself right now. Whatever that is for everybody, whether that's just taking time off or a new business venture or taking a trip, whatever that is. But we're feeling like we're much more in touch with our higher selves, our spiritual side, or maybe it's just a matter of following your instinct, gut feeling. You're just much more in tune with that right now. It's in our strength spot. It looks like we're tapping into that aspect of ourselves that is the healer. Maybe we're healing ourselves and bringing more healing to ourselves right now, but I would actually say this extends a little bit further with the Temple Path. It means I would say that we're actually, most of us, maybe even all of us to a degree, are more stepping into that role as the healer. Being in the strength spot, it kind of just adds more fuel to it. Beg pardon. It really just tells me that everyone right now might potentially be feeling or seeking ways that they can embody that role a bit more. And remember, healing doesn't necessarily mean doctor or energy healer like Reiki. It can be things like, massage. It can be a teacher. It can be... the healer is often hidden in things like you wouldn't even believe. Like it's sort of everywhere and can be in any role. You just have to seek it out. And I think that's what this is really about here. It's not about taking on a new role that's like, I am a healer. It's about finding the healer in the role that you're in, maybe. So whatever this is, temple path, we're on our spiritual path, and we are all kind of stepping into that healer role, whatever that means for you, okay? Now, what this is all kind of pointing up to here, the fruits of all this is deceit. This card often represents self-deceit. Let's see what else it has to say. So yeah, it sounds like balance coming up there doesn't necessarily tell me that there's any specific person who's deceiving us except ourselves. So this deceit comes up when we're lying to ourselves about something, we're telling ourselves a story, we're playing something out that just really doesn't serve us. Okay, we're very much 100% deceiving ourselves. And we're the only ones who are being deceived because, when we are deceiving ourselves, more often than not, people around us can usually see that we are deceiving ourselves, but, sometimes we just need to do what we need to do. Angel of Balance is letting us know that we are going to probably come to grips with that. We're going to start seeing that we've been in that place of self-deceit. We haven't really been truly honest with ourselves. And it's going to give us that opportunity to say, you know what, this doesn't serve me anymore. I can't keep lying to myself about this. I need to make a change here. Whatever it is. But when we start seeing that deceit, we're going to be able to bring more balance in. And that's the whole point of this. It can be a little bit of a scary card. This card almost reminds me of the devil in a way with all the red, and he kind of has like claw-like hands. He's very sinister looking. But it's really not a bad card, especially when you really look at how and why things would come up. Okay, so, and in this case, balance needs to be restored. All right? Let's have a look at the last message from Spirit, what they would like us to know. Strategy. So basically, straight up, the cards are just saying that this is a time for planning. This is a time for getting that pen to paper, really making sure that you have that list with you. I'm actually hearing list very specifically. And maybe it's because people are traveling, moving, or whatever, but you need to have your list with you, okay? Really make sure that you're not missing anything, all right? And start checking that list off, okay? Make that list and just be like, okay, one thing today, what can I do? Boom, I choose that. Doesn't even have to be about a priority thing. Just, I choose this, and just do it, okay? But whatever this list is, that's for everybody here, really make sure that you have this with you so you don't miss anything. Okay, that is your reading for the May 10th, 2017 full moon. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, please go ahead and like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shining Empathy. And you can also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Shining Empathy. And until next time, everyone, love and light to you all. Bye for now.